You will visit Alphinaud and Colusia then. Excellent. As I mentioned, your destination is an island off the west coast, so you will need a mount capable of making the journey. Here's a letter of... I'm sorry?
Go ahead, sorry.
Here's a letter of introduction, presented to Zem Gen Mai, master of the beast at the Temenos Rookery. He will take care of you. When you see Alphinaud, be sure to pass on my warmest regards. Your face is unknown to me. What business have you at my rookery? Letter of introduction, addressed to Zem Gen Mai and signed by the first Crystal Exarch. Signed by the Exarch, no less. Yes, I can provide you with an amaro for passage to Colusia. I will pick you out a friendly whelp. Not a chocobo, then?
So,
a
isn't worth anything? God.
A chocobo. You hail from one of Novrant's more isolated settlements, perchance. I hear there are a few places where they ride little else. But here in the Crystarium, mounts like that grey fellow there are far more commonly used. Seeing as you are plainly unaccustomed to riding a Morrow, I think it best I accompany you on this flight myself. Any Zune worthy of the name could do it, of course, but the Exarch sent you to me. Ensuring you arrive safely is my responsibility. Gather your things and meet me at the Amaro Lodge. One of the junior tamers will attend to you while I ready the mounts.
I did seem to that 8th right before you do this.
Oh, right, I have to do that. You want to fly an Amar to Colusia? I suppose the Master Genmai is going with you. Wait here, please. The Master should be along with the mounts shortly. You can now travel to Colusia. Speak with the aspiring Amaro tamer to fly to the island. You can also use your Aether Compass to assist with locating Aether currents in new regions. Aether Compass can be found in the Collection Duty section. Okay, we've been over that one.
The whistling breeze, mute. The pounding surf, frozen. Time itself takes a breath. At light's edge, all is perfectly still. The world captured in a painting, locked in a moment. Music, faint and fleeting, drifts coastward on the lifeless air. And in the distance, beyond the broken earth, a city beckons.
Colusia. We are arrived. This is a crack shell beach on the eastern coast of Colusia. We should be safe here for the present. Compared to the mainland, sinister attacks are far less prevalent, and the native beasts are not any more dangerous than elsewhere. It is the people you should be wary of. Spy you that city in the distance. That is Yomor, the island's main settlement. It rivals the Crystarium in scale, and was once an ally in our battle against the abominations. For years, the Yomoran elite have fancied themselves the masters of what remains of our broken world. They have gone as far as to offer the leaders of other settlements their protection, if we bend the knee. But to say their ideals are questionable would be putting it mildly. The Crystarium is one among many who resist their heavy-handed authority, and while we are not at war, our relationship with Yulmore is strained at best. It may be wise to conceal your ties with the Exarch during your stay here, especially in the vicinity of the city. I'm glad we understand each other. Now, the Exarch has instructed me to divulge a secret that should make finding your friend a good deal easier. Listen closely. If you head south along the coast, you will eventually come to a fisherman's shack. A A friend of the Crystarium lives there, a man who goes by the name of Eivor. Eivor keeps an eye on everything that happens in Colusia, and will be able to point you in the right direction. Just hand him a sprig of thyme that will let him know that you can be trusted. Here, this should be enough. Find your friend. I will stay here with the Amaro until you are ready to return. What you after? Fish? Crab? Think I got an eel in a barrel somewhere if you have a taste for them. Lake thyme, a fragrant herb commonly found growing along in the floodplains of the source. Oh, I do love a bit of thyme. Chuck some in the pan, it's like a bloody festival of flavor. What is it I can do for you? Can't say there have been any major upsets to report these past few weeks. Alphinaud, aye, I know the one. Our young champion of the downtrodden. You're almost richer than all of Novrand put together. It's a different story for them as life outside the city. Most spend every waking moment just trying to stay alive, which makes your friend's dedication to helping others stand out all the more. I can hazard a guess as to where he is now, get a message to him, but you'll need somewhere quiet to meet, away from prying eyes. Make for still tired. That's a fishing village just up the path there. You're looking for a rundown excuse of a tavern that the locals call the Leaky Keel. Wait there and I'll see that Alphinaud joins you. It's your first time in a tavern? It's customary to buy a drink if you mean to loiter. What'll you be having? Give me some water. It's too bright out to be drinking. Fine choice. What will you be paying with? Oh now, those are exotic. Why did you come by coins like that? I'm sorry dear, I don't doubt they have value, but I don't have a touchstone to test their purity. I'm not about to go begging for one from the neighbors, so I'll have to come to some other arrangement. Ah, there's an idea. There's a convent to the north where we grow our vegetables, but lately the pests have been eating more than we have. Why do you say you do a bit of an extermination work? I want you to squash any vermin you find, then visit the caretaker and give him an earful for me sleeping on the job. He'll be in an old silo next to the fence, snoring like as not. Do that for me and you can laze about here as long as you like. Ooh, these must be the famous low poly grapes. You hear a faint squeaking from the room beyond. Time to burst in and save the day, brave adventurer.
I love it.
No one is home, and judging by the lack of furniture, they haven't been for some time. The gnawed scraps of vegetables on the floor suggest rats have taken up residence in their absence. Welcome back, dear. What that good-for-nothing caretaker have to say for himself? I couldn't find anyone. Gone? Must have left to rejoin the rest of the hopefuls. What? In Gate Town, outside Yulmore? You don't have a clue what I'm talking about, do you? And here I was thinking you were another dreamer. Well, never mind all that. Take a seat wherever you like, dear. You've more than earned it. I'll even throw another drink on the house. A full glass of water. Yay.
And how is business today, Mistress Theva?
Oh, frenetic. Look, I have a new customer.
Alphinaud!
Good to see you, my
He
friend.
stole my outfit!
Maybe this is just normal fashion here.
The
He
barley seeds you
stole my
wanted.
outfit!
They should produce a better harvest than the last.
What, just like that? Oh, Alphinaud, you really are a dear. Well, I'd best be tidying up some of those empty shacks before the pests move in. Keep an eye on the place while I'm out, eh?
It seems an age since last we spoke. Not since the prisoner exchange in Doma. And Yotsu. It has been even longer for me, of course, if you count the days I've spent here. But the time has only added to the relief I feel seeing you safe and well.
You know, me, I was more worried about you, considering you're a soul. You're just a tangible spirit at the moment.
Huh. Alisaie said much the same thing. I don't think I've ever had such a scolding. But I believe an exchange of news is in order. Come, tell me of your arrival and all that came before.
It all started when I went to the Crystal Tower.
I see. Both the Exarch and Alisaie told me what they knew of events, but I had stubbornly clung on to the hope that all-out war might yet be avoidable. And poor Tataru. She must be sick with worry.
You're saying that we have to
We
do
must
another
endeavor to
alliance
return
raid?
as soon as we may. It would be nice to bring her good tidings for a change. But before we bid this world farewell, we must first ensure that it is not rejoined to the source. We must prevent the 8th Umbral calamity. Urianger's vision of the future has, I fear, every chance of coming true. By his description, the catalyst for the calamity was a formless and deadly weapon employed by the Garlean Empire.
Like the toxic gas?
Which can only mean one thing. Black Rose.
Yep.
Gaius was telling you the truth. When we were on the trail of the Ascians, we saw evidence that the gas was being manufactured once more. Gaius was adamant that the project had been scrapped. But so long as there are wars to be waged, there will always be those determined to win by any means. And thus simply destroying the existing stores of Black Rose would do little to alter fate's course. In that sense, our involuntary journey here to the First was something of a boon. Together with the Exarch, we've developed a theory as to how we believe the rejoining will be set in motion. I'm sure Urianger himself will cover the subject in more detail. But I can tell you the process requires that both worlds, the Source and the First, be facing an existential threat. One being Sin-Eaters, of course. They are a menace that I would dearly love to remove, and not just to avert a calamity. I may be a stranger to this world, but I will not stand idly by and let innocent people be slaughtered. That is what brought me to the gates of Yulmore. Ignoring its pretensions as a kind of capital city to what remains of the world, it is nonetheless a center of power and authority. If any solutions are to be found, I believe our search should begin there. What say you, old friend? Hungry for another adventure?
Well, venturing is part of my job description, so let's get to it.
And so we take to the road once more.
Just don't volunteer to fly in any airships anytime soon, would you? Assuming you have no objections, let us make our way directly to the city outskirts. If we time our arrival just right, you may be lucky enough to see why I have yet to set foot in Yulmore, despite my best efforts to do so. Come, from here we must head west, then cross a small bridge. Colossia seemed peaceful, does it not? Almost familiar. I had a similar impression at Crystarium. Even in the distant world, people are much the same. To think that whenever a calamity struck the souls, a reflection such as this one, with all its culture and history, was being erased from existence. No! Get away from me! Over there! Quickly! Someone's in trouble! Oh, thank the fates you... Look out!
What is the name that Also the ability names.
Forgiven Cowardice.
Yeah, something love was the AoE.
Ah. My poor heart. Thank you, young sir. Ah, there you are. In my haste, I lost my bearings. But I see you have the situation well in hand. Fine work. Are you alright, madam? Just a few bruises from where I fell. Nothing compared to what was in store for me before this brave soul came to my rescue. I honestly thought I was done for. My feet are not as swift as they once were, and I knew there was no one left to hear me scream. Not that I let that stop me. I should probably leave my old house behind and queue up outside Yulmore with the rest of them. Doubt those fancy lords and ladies would welcome an old crone like me. Still, even a shack near the gate has to be safer than staying here. One would hope. Either way, I suggest you avoid wandering alone, lest you make the Sin Eater's task any easier. Thank you again. You saved my life. Now, I'm sure a strapping lad like you has little to fear, but I wouldn't linger long in this place. There's naught to be had here but cobwebs and memories. It's as she says. Many in these parts have abandoned their homes to live in Yulmore's shadow. Should the Sin Eaters expand upon this region, there are precious few with the strength to fight them off. Speaking of which, what have you been told of these monsters? Not much, that they came in with the flood. A brief history then. 'Twas not long after the flood swallowed the better part of the world that the Sin Eaters first appeared, some beastly, some beauteous. Yet regardless of all their form, all seem incapable of speech, and all are driven by the same insatiable appetite for mortal ether. They are predators, and we are their prey. So it's just like a legion of primals, or...
They don't seem like they're that big.
Like, I mean, yeah, but they are consuming aether to sustain themselves, which is very which is a very primal thing to do. Calusia suffers from far fewer attacks than most regions, but even so, the list of Sin Eater's victims grow longer by the day, a tragedy without end. Still, we have won a small victory this time at least. Now, shall we press on? We need to return to where the road forks and follow the path that leads west.
That gate up ahead is known as the Open Arms, and Yulmore itself lies beyond. This, meanwhile, is the aptly named Gate Town, the dwelling place of the many desperate souls who hope to be chosen to live in the city proper.
Why does this give me a lot of Old Da vibes?
I mean, it's the same fucking problems.
Exactly.
I guess it's the reflection of Olda.
Yeah, I believe that.
I thought I recognized you. Brought a new friend, eh? I'll bet you got a trick or two up your sleeve. Maybe even 3. Care to show me?
He's not here to compete. Leave him be.
What? I was only making conversation.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please!
It just seems more like the reflection of Olda with every second.
Yeah. I guess Crystarium is supposed to be more Dona or something?
to our
Maybe.
hopeful petitioners.
I mean, it's the
One
same
and all,
place.
Yulmore
Isn't this where
extends
Linza
its
is? So it's
warmest
kind of weird that it's
regards.
reflecting Ulda. Maybe
Um,
they like reflected the map locations.
maybe. I don't know, maybe we'll get more answers later.
Let it be known
Or maybe
that
this is
a
just
lady
part of the
of
story and they
distinction
just
wishes
did
to
it
dine
artistically.
on fish divine.
Who knows?
We
Or,
seek a master
you know,
culinarian who can
wanted to
guarantee
implement the ideas they couldn't throw
perfection.
Ulda.
Dazzle the matron with your delicious dishes, and life in the city will be yours to enjoy, even on days when fish is not on the menu. Who among you will answer the call? Name yourself or another. We may not at all.
Well, I am an accomplished culinarian according to Eorzean standards.
What about that girl?
Do you recall how I said Yulmore was a center of power and authority? Well, that is not the only reason for its fame. It is also known as the City of Final Pleasures. The noble and the wealthy who survived the flood gathered here to live out the rest of their days in decadent abandon. A poor man could sooner pass through the Iron Needle than Yulmore's gates. The only way the common folk can enter this perverted paradise is if they fulfill the whim of one of the privileged. And so they are picked over like market produce.
What a catch! We'll not be throwing this one back. Having seen your all too obvious charms, we welcome you with open arms. Come, join us in the City of Splendor and live out your life in an ecstasy of endeavor.
That face always freaks me out.
Oh, just look at those expectant faces. What could you possibly be waiting for? Well, what have we here? An extra share of meal to celebrate our newest resident.
So
For you.
each, I'll sign up for this. Just give me some of those peaches.
I don't think they're peaches, they just might be
Meal
bread.
is a foodstuff which Yulmore
They
routinely
look
doles
like
out
white
to the
peaches.
people
I
of
want
Gate,
those damn white
and
peaches.
apparently a staple for its citizens as well. Many here rely on it to survive in these times of scarcity. Yet the whole arrangement just seems... well, let us just say it leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
Now you understand why my attempts to enter the city has thus far come to naught. The dubious privilege of residency must be won via a contest with ever-changing rules. They say this policy has been in place for the past 2 decades, ever since Yulmore's current ruler came into power. Yet from what I have seen, it does more harm than good. Not only does it distract people from our shared struggle against the Sin Eaters, it robs them of their self-sufficiency. I have tried to propose ways they could improve their lot, but my words invariably fall on deaf ears. The attitude is so entrenched now, I worry that... well, mayhap you could take a turn around Gate Town and judge the situation for yourself. Still here, are ya? Can't blame you for wanting a slice of Yulmore's pie. If you ask me, you should ditch that sour-faced brat and make a home for yourself here. Gate Town's not much to look at, at least it's safe. And the meal is the best thing I've ever tasted. Bubbling cookpot. A large pot bubbles over the flame. Pale chunks, meal, you realize, float in the otherwise plain broth.
For bread, then it would still be chunked after sitting in that long, so I think that it's white peaches.
A peach stew?
Hell yeah.
I don't know.
Add some alcohol to that peach stew for extra bonus.
Just look at it. Can you imagine a more beautiful city? Every day I dream of the light that awaits me inside those walls. Oh, will they ever pick me? You've seen what Gate Town has to offer. Well, clearly not much if they're taking away all the useful people. These people can no longer fend for themselves. They become dependent on handouts of Mayol and believe Yulmore is the answer to all their woes. Yet no matter how I frame my encouragement, they seem unwilling, nay, unable to conceive of any other way of life. So is it Mayol drugs, or...
I assume just food.
Hmm.
I mean, how else are they going to eat without a farm here?
You disapprove of Yulmore? It is difficult to make a final judgment without first seeing the city's inner workings. Mayhap it is that uncertainty which always makes me feel so ill at ease here. Not that it matters. However unjust the system seems to me, if these people claim to be content with their lot, it is hardly my place to criticize their choices. But take that elderly lady you rescued. Does it not seem that those who have chosen to forego Yulmore's largesse are doomed to suffer for their independence? In the end, they are all but forced to seek refuge in Gate Town, and so hamlets and fields across the island are left empty and untended, hastening the region's descent into ruin. Nay, I am not convinced that Yulmore's generosity truly serves the best interests of Colusia's people. I am not so naive as to think there's some miraculous solution to all of this. Yet I cannot help but frown at the sight of hard-working villagers struggling to survive, even as the chosen few rejoice at being plucked from poverty by the hand of a capricious noble. There has to be a better way. I will not know for sure, however, until I have taken those long-delayed steps through Yulmore's gates. It is fortunate that you arrived when you did, Kreen. I have been working on a scheme to insinuate myself into the city, and if all goes to plan, it should soon come to fruition. Alphinaud, what are you up to? There's a beast tribe who makes its home in the seas surrounding the island. The Ondo they are called, though you and I know them as Sahagin. For the most part, they keep to themselves in their ocean grottos, and rarely have dealings with land dwellers. But as Tataru took such great pains to impress upon me during our stay in Kugane, business favors the bold, and so I reached out to them. I duly discovered that the Ondo are inordinately fond of land-grown produce, fresh fruits in particular, and when I offered to procure such goods for them, they promised to pay me in pearls. An attractive business venture for any prospective investor, would you not agree? Surely even the most jaded Yulmoran lord would have time for a merchant who can make pearls from plums and pumpkins. Yes, I come a long way since my days of buying samurai swords without first negotiating a price. My appointment with the Ondo is to take place in a few hours. I just need to collect the produce and meet with them on the shore. Will you help me make the exchange? The little boy is growing up. Yeah, but he's still as short as ever. Excellent. I should be glad of your company. First things first then, we must pay a visit to Moshamoa, my supplier in Right. Come, it is just to the northwest of here. Oh, I don't like that eavesdropping. Is there something I can do for you, friend? Good day to you, Moshamoa. This is my associate Green, and we are here to collect the produce I purchased. Eh? I loaded your lackey up with the goods not long ago. My lackey? I know of no such person. Mr. Lad, short blue hair? No? He said he'd come on your behalf, and he seemed to know all the details. I just assumed... Confound it. Someone must have been eavesdropping on our conversation. If this charlatan was here not long ago, he cannot have gone far. We should split up and search the area. You find a vantage point on the south side of town, and I shall take the west. There's our surroundings for a male mistel with short blue hair. You may move the camera as well as zoom in and out. Target a likely suspect and inspect them with left click. I'm guessing mistel is their word for me coat. Yep, looks like it. You've located your quarry. Green. Any sign of him? Yep, right over there. You have a keen eye. Let us move in before he makes good his escape.
There you
Peter
are.
gave me some alcohol.
Oh no.
The thief who claims the harvest on my behalf. Hand it over.
Well, forgive me. I have to get into the city. I have no family and all my friends have already been chosen. No one here gives a damn about me. Look, when the meal gets handed out, I'm lucky if I get a smell of it. No matter what I do, they won't call out my name. I'm so tired, I'm so bloody hungry. I thought maybe I could steal your idea, get in that way.
What is your name?
Kai Shear.
Tell me then, Kai Shear. Must it be Yulmore or nothing? What of the Crystarium? They may not offer charity, but you would be fairly compensated for any work you did.
No, it has to be Yulmore. That's where all my friends are. We made a promise that we'd live together in paradise.
I was to make my deal with the Ondo at the Clave. Listen carefully, and I shall tell you my plans for the business, and how best to arouse the Yulmorans' interest.
You'll give me your place? Just like that?
I'm giving you a chance, nothing more. What comes of it is entirely up to you.
I understand. Oh, thank you, thank you!
They're going so ham on the paradise thing, I'm pretty sure they're just killing everyone who gets into the city.
You think it's gonna be a me all is
One
people
part.
kind of
There
situation?
will be others. But for young Kai Shi,
Not
it was the difference
But
between
the
life and
idea
death.
of those delicious white peaches being made of people is not what I will entertain.
I'm sorry?
I'm not going to entertain my white peaches being made out of Soylent.
Me all is people! People!
No! Yeah!
You really love peaches, don't you?
No shit. The cocktail that Peter gave me is made out of the white peach liqueur I made.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I do not regret my decision, yet I will admit that a part of me wonders if it was for the best. We strive to bring swift salvation to this world. that countless lives might be saved, not least your own. Even if it came at the cost of one man, should I have forged on regardless?
That's not who you are.
I suppose not. Were Estinian here, he would most likely scoff at my soft-heartedness.
Same old Alphinaud, ever the slave to sentiment.
Yeah, it's a
But
good
I thank
impression.
you for your kind words nonetheless. Let us see to it that both these stories have a happy ending. Shall we return to Wright then?
Looks like I'm gonna have to think of a new plan.
Is that?
Alphinaud, what do your elves and I see?
I can't be sure, but I think someone's in trouble. Come on, they may need our help.
That should take care of the worst of his injuries. Mercy! Mercy, I beg you! Breathe easy, sir. No harm will come to you here. The poor man is shivering. Pray keep an eye on him while I get a fire going. I thought for certain I was dead. How might I ever repay this kindness? We'll settle for the tale behind your current predicament. Why don't you begin by telling us your name? Tristel. I was invited into Yulmore to work as an artist. A wealthy couple took me in to paint pictures for them, but when my style proved contrary to their taste, they just as quickly turfed me out onto the street. I was left penniless and patronless, a grave sin in Lord Valthry's city. Within days, they had brought me before the man himself, and he asked me what I meant to do. Dejected as I was, I told him that I wished to leave. Little did I know how soon he would grant me my wish. They flung me over the balustrade into the goddamned ocean. From up there? How were you not dashed to pieces? Don't ask me. Luck, I suppose. Though if you haven't found me when you did, it wouldn't have counted for much. Monstrous. And the citizens condone such barbaric punishment. Oh, without a second thought. When Lord Valthry passes judgment, no one so much as blinks, let alone argues. In Yulmore, his word is law. The more I hear about this Yulmore, the more determined I am to see what waits within its walls. I shall bend all my thoughts towards securing another way into the city. There must be something we can do. But first we should convey Tristel to the shelter of the village. Fire or no fire, he needs to be out of this chilly coastal air. A way into the city? Pray accept my deepest gratitude. I owe you both my life. And, if you'll permit me, I would assist you in your attempt to enter Yulmore, insofar as I am able at any rate. To be frank, the thought of sending my saviors into that awful place makes me sick to the stomach. But since it's plain you set your minds on it, you should take this. It's my favorite paintbrush. The Umoran elite are never satisfied until they get exactly what they want. And if I'm not mistaken, the couple I mentioned will be looking for someone to replace me. If you make a show of owning such a well-used brush, you may be able to convince people you have a talent for painting. Alphinaud do have a talent for drawing, or art, so... Are you certain? This is your livelihood. We cannot deprive you of such a treasured possession. I gave it gladly after all you've done for me. Besides, I don't think I have the heart to paint anymore. As to what I'll do instead, I honestly haven't decided. But I shan't stay long in this place, not with that city brooding over me. Nay, I'll move on to new lands and a new profession. And I'll keep you in my prayers from now until my dying day.